Hey guys, I know it's been a long time since you have seen me done a video, but lately I have been getting this urge to come out and do the things that I am uncomfortable with. I am not comfortable being in front of the camera any at all. I prefer to be behind the camera. I prefer to work behind the scenes in everything, but as a Christian, you should be able to recognize the call that God has on your life. And I recognize that one of my calling is not to be in the foreshadow, but it is to be upfront. It is not something that I enjoy doing. It is not something that I love, but to get the word out and to get the job done, it is something that I must do. Now, first, let me apologize for whatever noise you might be hearing, because I live near the road. So from time to time, you might hear music, or you might hear a vehicle passing, or somebody passing. Even you might hear some fowls crowing in the background, but that's it. I live in the country area, as we would say in Jamaica, so you will hear those type of stuff. Now, this morning, I want to encourage somebody. I want to talk to somebody. I want to tell somebody to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. This is a word that was given to me like might be 2 years or near 2 years now, to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. It is not something nice for you to accept the things that you fight so hard to stay away from. But if you want to live a life that is pleasing to God, you will have to somehow step out of the box and come out in the arena or the space that He wants you to be. And so this morning, I want to talk to somebody about your life being disrupted by God. Your regular programming or programs, just allow them to be disrupted by the Holy Spirit. As I said before, it is not a comfortable feeling. It is not something nice. It is not something that you will be so willing to accept. But for the sake of the gospel, it is something that you must accept. And so this morning, I want to talk to us about at least 2 characters from the scriptures whose lives were disrupted by God. These 2 individuals were recluse. They were like me. I'm a recluse. I do not like to be upfront. I don't like to be seen. I am of a shy nature, and I somewhat think of myself not as someone who is capable of certain things. I know other people might look at me and say that I am capable or I can do certain things, but in my eyes, that is not really how I see myself. And as I talk to you this morning, I'm also speaking to myself about my life being disrupted by God. So the first character would be Moses. Now, Moses, as we all know it, he grew up in Egypt. He was adopted by Pharaoh's daughter. So he grew up in the palace. He grew up learning the customs, the ways, the culture of Egypt. He was well educated. He knew things that the regular Hebrew had no reason to know. The regular Hebrew wouldn't even know those things that Moses was privy to. He grew up in the palace, but he did not cause that or allow that to cause him to forget who he was. Though he grew up among the Egyptians, he knew that he was different. He knew that he was a Hebrew. And so it so happened that one day while he was out, he saw an Egyptian taskmaster whipping a Hebrew, and that made him livid. He was very upset about that, and he struck that Egyptian, and it caused him to die. He caused the Egyptian to die. And he thought that, you know, yeah, I killed this man and I can bury him and nobody will know. He did not know that somebody had seen him. And so the following day, after he had buried that man, the following day he went out and he saw two Hebrews fighting, or two Israelites fighting, and he, you know, he tried to intervene. And they said, what, you want to kill us like the way that you did that Egyptian? And right then and there he realized that, oh, my secret isn't a secret. And as we would say in Jamaica, he take himself. And he ran away. And when he ran away, they were searching for him. But he stayed hidden for 40 years. He went to the land of Midian, where he found his wife, where he was working with her father for that length of time that he was away for. But something happened one day where he was out taking care of the sheep, his father-in-law sheep. He was in charge of the sheep, and he saw a bush on fire. The bush was burning, but it was not being consumed because it was the Spirit of God that was on the bush. And that really caught his attention, and it caused him to draw near to that sight, to that thing that he was seeing. And while he came near, the Lord started speaking to him, and he said, Moses, come closer. Moses got closer and he told him, take off your shoes, because this place that you are standing on, it is holy grounds. And you know, Moses obeyed and he took his shoes off, and the Lord started talking to him. Look, Moses, I hear the cry of my people. Their cries come up to me day and night. Their cries come up to me every single second, every single minute of every day. And because they are my chosen people and I hear their cry, I am going to send you as the person to deliver them from the hands of the Egyptians. And immediately Moses started to talk like I talk about myself. Moses said, God, you want to send me? I am not capable of going to deliver your people. As a matter of fact, God, you are sending me to speak to the supreme leader or ruler of Egypt, and I am not able to speak a sentence without stuttering. Remember, God, I have a speech impediment. Remember that I can't talk. Remember that I am not capable of doing that. But then the Lord said, isn't I, who formed the mouth, able to let you speak, to let you do what I am sending you to do? But Moses was reluctant to have his life interrupted by God. However, he relented and he allowed God to send him, but he had some, he had some drawback to that. And he said, Lord, I can't talk. And God said, all right, don't worry yourself, because the job has to be done and somebody has to do it. So God said, all right, I'm going to use your brother Aaron to speak on your behalf. And he went, found Aaron, and they went and they spoke to the Pharaoh of that time. And we all know the story, what happened. Our second character is Gideon. Now, Gideon was on the threshing floor, threshing wheat, as it was custom to people doing in those days. And while he was there, the angel of the Lord came and spoke to him and said, Gideon, valiant man of God, powerful man of God. And Gideon was like, am me God at all? I have no clue who he's talking about, because that is not me. I am neither valiant, I am neither brave, I am neither bold. I am nothing that God is saying to me right now. And God reassured him, Gideon, I am calling you to be a lieutenant in my army. I am calling you to lead my army against those that are opposing me. And Gideon started to tell God, but I am the least in my father's house. How many times have God called us and told us to do something that we think is beyond us, something that we think we have no right or no reason to do, because in our eyes, just like the Israelites, we see ourselves as grasshoppers. We see ourselves as less than. We see ourselves as a nobody. And so we are so fearful to step out of the box, per se, and do what God has called us to do. How many times have God called us and say, I want you to go in front of these people and bring this word, and because of how you feel about yourself, you pull back in the shadows and you say, God, no, let sister so and so do it, or let brother so and so do it, because I don't think that I am capable. I don't think that I am able to talk to your people. I don't think that I can preach well. I don't think that I can sing well. I don't think that I can articulate my words for them to listen to me. Stop it. I'm saying this to you, and I'm also saying this to myself. Stop it. It is time to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. It is time for you to have your lives interrupted by God. If you look around you today, you realize that the enemy is coming full force, and they are not afraid to say what they think, and they are not afraid to do what they believe is right in their eyes to do. But here we are as children of God, the ones that he has told that I have not given you a spirit of fear, but one of love, power, and a sound mind. Here we are pulling back in the shadows and being afraid of doing the things that he has called us to do, because we are afraid of what he, she, and the old lady will say about us. Stop it. It is time for us to rise up. It is time for us to do the will of God. It is time for us to allow God to interrupt our daily or our regular program. It is time now to arise and do the will of God. I pray that my words will somehow touch somewhere within you, and you will just surrender your all unto God and allow him to use you. May you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to do another video sometime soon. God bless you all. Bye bye.